coming in at number 10, we have a creepy doll head candle. Like, why? Who? Why? What? Why? Who wants a wax doll's head that you can watch while its face melts and smiles at you? I'm not in the market for judgment, but I have to say owning this candle treads a very fine line between eccentric and super creep, although I guess it would make for a great Halloween prop. Or just freaking out your friends. If you are the right kind of super creep, then this waxy head is still available on BUNZ and it can be yours for 2,000 BTZ. Also available on BUNZ, we have this cow skull at number 9. Bones! Bones for trade. Legitimate bones. I find this oddly unsettling, but also kind of weirdly cool in like a George O'Keeffe kind of way. I'm not sure what you could offer up for trade for this decapitated cow's head, but the woman who listed it is looking for something in the value of around 120 bucks. Maybe you could offer up a rabbit's foot or an alternative dismembered animal limb. This cow head on BUNZ reminds me of a cow chair I once saw on the trading site eBay. I'm gonna once again segue beautifully into that bovine beast. At number 8, we have the cow chair. What better place to park your hide? Honestly, I can actually think of a lot of chairs I'd rather sit in than one made of bones, especially cow bone. I am a soft, humble vegetarian after all. Maybe Gaston of Beauty and the Beast would like it, because as we know, he uses antlers in all of his decorating, although maybe he'd like to branch out with an accent chair. Anyway, the cowbone throne seller based in Pittsburgh was looking for around 375 bucks for it. The description says that the seat is 43 inches tall by 38 wide, so place for a wide enough load. It's made of real cow bones and is in excellent condition, and I quote, "It's comfortable in a weird sort of way," I'll say. The listing also claims everyone loves to sit in it and so will you. Sure. Okay, up next, not an internet trade, but a scary trade that I really wanted to mention. At number 7, we have alligators for beer. Why not? Would you rather have beer or an alligator? For me, I'd much rather have a lovely cold beer than a snappy wee killer, but that's just me. Although is it? Because one man in Miami, Florida felt much the same in December 2013 and walked into a beer store to demand a 12-pack of cold ones in exchange for a dangerous reptile. Peddling the alligator. It seems that the plucky entrepreneur had captured the gator from a local swamp and trapped the 4-foot beast in a box before he took it to a convenience store. The best part about the whole thing is that it's actually caught on CCTV camera, so you can get an idea of what trying to trade a live gator for alcoholic beverages looks like. He then later attempted to sell the animal outside the store but got no takers. He was arrested by police. Okay, now we're talking at number 6. We have 35 kilos of Parmesan for a car. Now this is my kind of trade, although I have to say I would much prefer the cheese. Aaron Thompson went viral on Facebook when he posted that he would like to trade the wheel for something he has more use for, like a car or a laptop. It seems Mr. Thompson was gifted the 35 kilos of cheese, which actually, to be fair, is an insane amount of cheese. That's like, I don't know, roughly 70% of what I weigh or something like that, so like a big cheese. This isn't just any cheese, this is Parmigiano Reggiano. It's absolutely fit to feed an army. Like a really bougie army, but still. Cheese and crackers, anyone? In his post, he said that the cheese would have cost 2,100 bucks in Woolworths, which still seems to be a thing in Australia. Good. When he spoke to the Daily Mail about his prospective trade, he said he didn't want to say where he sourced the cheese from, as it would ruin the mystique, apparently. If I had a car, to be honest, I would give it to him for over half my weight in cheese, because I love cheese. Say it louder. I love cheese. Coming in at number 5, we have your soul in exchange for free VIP tickets. Sell your soul to Satan in exchange for tickets to the annual International Black Mass and Satanic Orgy. Sure, whatever floats your boat. Website Necronomy is a website set up to encourage people to sell their souls to the Dark Lord, and they offer a number of package options. Very accommodating of the Dark Lord. The site says that Satan takes great pleasure in serving his customers in the most tempting, delightful way imaginable. One of those delights, it seems, is the annual orgy, where you can, and I quote, be a celebrity guest at the most exclusive and fun party in the world. Movie stars, rock musicians, champions of industry, religious leaders, witches, vampires, and politicians mingle with famous and fascinating demons like Azeroth, Baal, Lilith, Belial, Azil, I'm doing this so wrong, sorry Satanists, and also Gumby. Who's Gumby and where's Spring-Heeled Jack, my favourite demon? At midnight, the throats of 13 virgins from a diversity of third world countries are slit, and the participants disrobe to fornicate amidst oceans of silk pillows and goblets of wine mixed with virgin blood. Wow, what a listing, what a party. This is a murderous party that absolutely needs to be intercepted before more innocent virgins are sacrificed. Sorry to be a buzzkill. Coming in at number 4, this actually is really sad, so we need to take the tone down a bit. We have Disney tickets in exchange for an illegal act. Now this is downright despicable. It seems that in 2015, a former Disneyland employee tried to exchange free tickets to the Magic Kingdom for sex exchange using Craigslist. 27-year-old Derek Michael Enciso attempted to meet a 14-year-old girl, saying that he would arrive with condoms and Disney tickets. How absolutely disgusting. He didn't realize that actually he was communicating with an undercover officer who arrested him, and I'm honestly very glad. It seems that he'd posted several ads on Craigslist trying to peddle the tickets in exchange for, you know. Disneyland fired him immediately, and again, I'm glad. Awful at number 3, we have humans. The internet, as we know, can be a dark and ugly place, and these days a lot of human trafficking occurs on the internet. This is usually conducted using untraceable currencies like bitcoins and happens on the dark web. There is an article on Vice about how one of their journalists was conducting some research on the internet and they came across a listing for trafficked girls. They even came across a specific woman named Nicole who was up for auction, starting at $150,000. I guess we don't need to go into too much detail here, just an awareness that it's happening and that it needs to stop and that humans should never be up for trade will suffice. Okay, it may not sound as dramatic as some of the things on this list, but number 2 is something that most of us do every single day without an awareness of what we're exchanging and its true value. Coming into number 2, we have free social media for personal data. You may not realize this, but most people watching will have entered into an unwitting, terrifying exchange, the free use of social media apps in exchange for your personal data, which then companies will sell. Anyone remember Facebook selling the information of 50 million users to the Trump campaign? Just a prime example. Many of us are also convinced that our phones are listening to us and using clever marketing to advertise these things that we've talked about back to us on social media. But like, how else are they using our data and who else are they selling it to? Okay, I really wanted to end this list off in a happy way because ultimately I do think that trading is great. So at number 1 we have the best trade in all of history. I said it. Also, it involves swapping an afternoon with Alice Cooper for a snow globe. Okay, no, sure, this may not be the scariest story on the list, but it is the absolute best story, and it is actually one of the best stories I've ever heard, so listen up. You're about to hear how one man started with a paperclip and ended up with a house, all through the power of trading. And yes, the story does involve Alice Cooper and a snow globe. So this is Kyle McDonald. In exactly a year, he managed to conduct 14 internet trades that resulted in him being handed the keys to his own home, and beyond that, he had an awesome story to tell, a story that he then turned into a book. So as we know, Kyle started out with a paperclip. He then swapped this for a novelty fish pen. I think that's a good exchange, I'd probably be happy at that, but he was not. He then swapped that for a handmade doorknob, which then got him a camping stove, which he swapped for a generator, and then a keg of beer with a neon sign. And again, this is probably where I would stop because beer and neon. But no, things just got bigger for him. He swapped this in for a snowmobile, which would then swap for a trip to Yak. I don't know where that is, but sounds good. I like trips. He swapped that for a van, which was then amazingly swapped for a record deal. Again, this is where I'd stop. But he was then offered a year rent-free in Phoenix, Arizona, which he traded for an afternoon with Alice Cooper, which oddly, he traded for a snow globe, which seems like a slight on Mr. Cooper, but whatever. The snow globe was then traded for a role in a Hollywood movie, which he then traded for a house in Kipling. Wow! How incredible. Honestly, I love this story. The power of trading, this is absolutely what I love. Coming in at number 10, this is on BUNZ, we have a jar of teeth. Blah. If only I had known about these teeth when I was having dental problems last year. La ha 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 ha, there they are in a jar. So yeah, right now there is a quote unquote small jar of human teeth available for trade in Toronto. The jar contains wisdom teeth and baby teeth apparently. It also seems to contain a solitary rotten tooth that was extracted some time ago. Something about other people's disembodied teeth, like call me crazy, but I'm not here for it. Sorry Anna. Although, joke's on me as I've looked at this listing and the trade trade is pending. I'm honestly wondering what you trade teeth for. Coming in at number 9, we have dark web mystery boxes. One of the latest trends on the internet is to exchange cryptocurrencies on the dark web for mystery boxes. The reason people use crypto is because it's not as traceable. Basically, the whole thing kicked off when YouTubers started taking the unboxing trend just way too far. Stars like Ice Poseidon and IMJ Station started unboxing parcels that they brought off the dark web. IMJ Station paid $1,000 for a mystery box containing animal remains, a Daibok evil spirit box, and photos taken from outside his house, which for me is just too much. YouTuber Killam bought one too and gained himself 5 million views for his unboxing. He got a teddy bear stuffed with a white powder, a voodoo doll, a satanic children's book, a disembodied doll with swastikas on parts of it, and what looked like a murder weapon. While this trade does seem super scary, I did come across a Reddit post by Lurking Horror Writer who claimed to be one of the people that puts together such dark web boxes. They claimed that they were comprised of just random things they found about their homes, such as like rusty screwdrivers and USB sticks which they loaded with scary pictures. They then sold the boxes to idiots like us for massive returns. Genius. Coming into number 8, we have snake skin. Fellow Slytherin buns in the house, wave your hand at me or your snaky tail. I have to say though, the thought of trading skin doesn't make me feel okay, especially shed skin from a serpent. I understand why this would be an interesting trade for some people though, as this corn snake is going for just $3 a jar, so but again, a jar of skin. Ugh. The BUNZ will also accept a tea or a latte. There really to me though is something unappetizing about a beverage being a trade for a jar of skin, but each to their own. Coming in at number 7, we have a testicle for a car. Would you rather have balls or wheels? Mike Parisi chose the latter. In 2013, Mike Parisi from Las Vegas appeared on a TV show Extreme Cheapskates on the TLC network. He said he planned to have one of his testicles removed as part of a medical trial. The trial would pay him $35,000, which he wanted for a Nissan 370Z. Let's have a look at this car, shall we? Gents, what would you prefer? Would you trade one ball for a 2-door car with 2 seats in it? The thing is though, cars don't hold their value and balls, I don't have them, metaphorically sure but physically no, balls are kind of invaluable, right? This is actually super sad. Coming in at number 6, we have the body trade. A Reuters journalist was involved in a trade for body parts, all for a story. It seemed after just a few emails back and forth, Brian Grow was able to procure 2 heads and a spine. The spine came from a young man whose family were too poor to be able to bury him, so they donated his body to science. Or so they thought. It seemed that the company Restore Life sells on donated bodies to researchers, but it's surprisingly easy to get hold of them. Reuters then traded the parts to the University of Minnesota Medical School once they'd got their story. The director Angela MacArthur said, "I haven't seen anything this egregious before. I worry about the future of body donation and public trust in body donation when we have situations like this." Honestly, Angela, I feel you. Coming into number 5, we have a kidney for an iPad. I'm honestly trying to get rid of my old iPad, and there's some hooligan out there who just was so desperate for one that they sold their kidney, and that makes me actually really sad. This is actually like, I don't know, yeah, pretty depressing. The 17-year-old, known only as Little Sheng, was from a poor district in China. In 2011, he got in touch with a group that harvests organs in order to raise $3,500 to buy Apple products. Now this included an iPad. The teen only got 10% of the money from his organ, with the rest the harvesters kept for themselves. The gang were later intercepted and put on trial, including gang leader Hiwi. I guess the truly sad thing about this trade is that a lot of Apple products are actually made in factories in China, but a lot of people living in the country can't afford them, so they resort to crazy things like selling their kidneys to be able to buy them. To me though, having an iPad really just isn't that important. Coming in at number 4, we have nudes for a scooter. I would trade nudes for absolutely nothing, but Mary, an Italian law student, started trading pictures in December 2013 in order to obtain a moped. She started leaving advertisements around the city of Naples, which led to some concerned people contacting the authorities. Mary covers her face in the ad and doesn't reveal her last name. She did create a Facebook page advertising her wares, and when contacted by the press, she said, "I I've had a lot of sales, but those who buy my pictures want to stay anonymous. I don't think I'm doing any harm or corrupting anyone. Some weeks after the whole thing went viral, it was actually revealed to all be a hoax in a viral marketing campaign for a photo contest in the city of Naples. This is super weird. Coming in at number 3, we have a male table in exchange for feet to rest on him. Oh, Craigslist, you're an endless source of creepy joy. It seems in London in 2013, a gentleman posted an ad offering himself as human furniture. The ad reads, "Ever imagined having an attractive man kneel chivalrously on the floor while you comfortably rest your favourite heels on him like a footstool?" Like, literally never. They added, "Perhaps you could be decadently flicking through a copy of Vogue magazine as you do so, or maybe simply using him as a chair or a convenient and portable table for your cocktail glass. Get treated like a princess by a polite, intelligent, sane and respectful gent who just happens to enjoy being used as furniture by ladies. Get in touch for fun and slightly daring new experiences." So the trade here is literally allow a man to be a table, man acts like table. Honestly, weird to me. I also enjoy how he highlighted that he's sane, because does anyone sane ever need to mention that they're sane? Questions. Okay, this made me want to vomit. Coming in at number 2, we have belly button lint. No. Back at it again with the disturbing Craigslist trades, honestly. This one comes with a picture, and I'm absolutely not here for it. The post reads, "I have a collection of belly button lint. I'll trade for muscle car, gold coins, work, or cash offer. Oh, and motorcycles." So if you're in Baltimore and you guys want some homegrown belly button fluff, then this guy is your guy. Why? Internet, this is why we can't have nice things. Finally, at number 1, I love antiques, I love vintage. This is a vintage jumpsuit, but there is a time and a place for second hand, and I would say it isn't when burying your dead. Finally, coming into number 1, another BUNZ spectacular, we have a used coffin. Used! This so-called antique coffin seems to currently live outside someone's house in Toronto. The description reads, "You read that right. We're looking for offers for our beloved antique coffin. I'm not desperate to move it, so the trade would have to be very intriguing, or at the very least mutually beneficial." One fellow bunzer wanted a picture with the lid open, and honestly, I kinda wanna see what's inside. Or maybe I don't. The poster added some further insight, saying that the bottom fabric of the coffin was removed due to staining, which made me feel very uncomfortable. I love you, BUNZ, but what is this?